Here we go. All right, guys. So this is Miss Kelsey Crosson. I'm pronouncing that right, correct?
Perfect.
All right. So Kelsey and we kind of met through, so once your diamond rank, then corporate starts to like put you in different push groups to help provide you support. So Kelsey and I are in an NLC Premier and Elite push group together. And so every Wednesday we get on a call with Mary Day, who is our corporate Eastern region mentor. And so we kind of, some of the girls in there have all been like swapping team calls and stuff. So last week I spoke on Kelsey's, and this week she's been so gracious to spend her Sunday with us. So Kelsey is the founder of Team Ride or Die, which I love it. She is a chronic quitter to gold digger, which I love it. She is one-star qualifying. She's one-star qualifying, and she has actually been such a leader that she has helped 2 personally sponsored coaches to diamond so far just this year. So that's something really, it just shows a lot about her leadership and what she's been able to do and help others on her team grow. She's a Success Club 5 legend, which legend is 24 months straight Success Club 5, which is freaking awesome. I mean, think of, we're pushing every month for our Success Club. That's 2 years straight. So awesome. And she has been coaching for 2.5 years. So out of those 2.5 years, she's reached Success Club for 24 months straight out of it. So we are so excited to have her on our team. And Kelsey, I'm going to hand it over to you and I'll meet myself.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. And I actually just found out the other day, I'm 1 second away from being a 10 all-star, not legend. But so that's exciting.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'll start off just by telling a little bit about me, my background. I honestly, before I started coaching, was just this so I'm a mom. I live in northeastern Connecticut. I was a single mom for a long time. Now I'm engaged. We're 5 months out from getting married. And when I started this business, I'm gonna say rock bottom because it was rock bottom for me. I was at this point in life that I was so miserable. I had just been through, I call it a series of toxic relationships because it literally was. And it got to a point where I was wow, something needs to change in my life. This isn't okay. This isn't an example I want to set for my son. These aren't the type of people that I want him being around. And the breaking point was being in a relationship that ended very badly, and I ended up having to get a restraining order against this man. And I was so scared to literally be in my own house that I stayed at my parents' for several weeks, before I ended up getting the restraining order and alarm system, the whole 9 to actually protect us. And it was at that time when I was staying at their house, when I was scrolling through Facebook and doing what, everybody does in the world now that is connected with social media, which is 90-5%. It's pretty crazy if you think about how many people are on social media. And I was just scrolling through Facebook, I don't know, I was just laying there okay, well, I passed this girl that presented the business opportunity in a post, and she looked so happy. And I was But when I was passing it, I was read the post, and it was something about helping other women get healthy and fit and making an income. And I was bullshit. Nope. Sorry if you kids earmuffs. And I was there's no way. This is just another this is one of those things that people talk up, and it's not real life. So, and that was the type of brain that I had. I was such a negative person that I didn't but then something brought me back to it. I scrolled past it, and I'm no, thank you. And something brought me back to it because I was who am I? How am I going to judge this girl right now for being so happy and putting herself out there? And I don't even know what it is she does, So I ended up reaching out to her, and I was like one of those legit dream coaches that you get very randomly that will sign up your first reach out, right? That are like, okay, cool, sounds good, let's do it. So I reached out, had a conversation with her. I was like, let's do it. I didn't even know what I was getting myself into, but I'm like one of the few people that started for the business opportunity solely. I was like, I didn't know where I was physically. I didn't know I had weight to lose. I knew that I was like not athletic at all. I did not have an athletic bone in my body. I, did cheerleading in middle school, and I tried like track in high school and failed miserably. So when I was at this point and I'm like, yeah, let's just become a health and fitness coach. Sounds like a great idea. I had no idea what I was doing and was like completely out of shape, had zero endurance. So I did my first challenge. I did the 21-day fix, which I know like probably a lot of us started with, and I lost 13 pounds in 3 weeks. And I was like, what? Yes! Like I just wanted to shout it from the rooftops. I wanted everybody to know what it was. And my coach at the time, which I found out that Lauren and I's stories are very similar. My coach at the time, like, she was like trying to like kind of dabble in the business, but she wasn't really like building it. She still didn't really know what she was doing. And like, I love her to death as like a person and a human being. But like at this point in time, I didn't really have the leadership that I needed. And her and I ended up running a challenge group together, like, which guys, if you're in this business, you should know that like your success partner should not be your downline. So I was doing it with her, and then it got to the point where like she wasn't really doing as much, and then she ended up doing like a fitness competition, and it was just like, it just ended up being like there was so many like things that weren't working out, right? Like because I'm like, we're trying to do at home workouts, and now she's training at the gym 24/7 and do it like it ended up being things that like weren't helping my business. And then she ended up just like quitting coaching altogether. So that's where Haley Christian it came into play as my upline, and actually started like kind of like giving me more mentorship than just like me being like, okay, well, I'm just got to figure this out on my own. So I did start running a lot faster once I had that. But once I realized how viable this business is, I think the second month that I started coaching, I hit Success Club 24, and I made a like $700 paycheck in a week. And I was like, what? Are you serious? Like that was like at the time, I forgot to mention this, but I'm a photographer. I was working full time, so I was doing like several other things. This like was not my full-time gig. So at the time, that $700 paycheck in a week was like probably what I made in 2 weeks at my full-time like corporate style job. And again, I like run a photography business, but I was like doing anything, everything, and weddings are where the money's at, but they don't fill my cup. I didn't love them. They were honestly like, they can get pretty miserable. You're shooting for 8 hours, then you're editing for a ton of hours. So I was like, wow, this is a real thing that I can actually turn into a business. And all I have to do is like get myself into shape and help other women do the same thing. Like I am in. And at that point was when I was like 1,050% sold on what it is that we have to offer. And I have been told this, I've heard it, I've read it, I've seen it. If you're not willing to share this business and the opportunity that this business and this company has for you, like even just physically, you're being selfish. So I think of that like if I'm ever like hung up on sending a message and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what are they going to think? Like, are they going to judge me? Or is this your world is not going to explode when you send that message. The worst that is ever going to happen is they will say no. That's it, guys. They're going to say no. Like, and then you're still going to keep living your life, and it might hurt your ego for 2 seconds, but you will come back from it and you will be okay. So I have that mentality, like if I'm not sharing this, I'm being selfish, because you never know what it's going to do for the next person that you talk to. You have no idea their circumstances. And unless you're sitting there willing to learn and hear them out and like get into the nitty gritty and the details of like what's going on in their lives, Like, you can't say, oh, I can't reach out to this person because they're already like super into fitness and this isn't for them. Like, you don't know that. You don't know what's going to be on behind the scenes. You're seeing their highlight reel, right? Like 90% of the people aren't raw, real people that are sharing their stories. Like, that's what you need to do, is share your story, because people are buying you. They're not buying Beachbody. Like, we've heard this a million times. And if you haven't, like, ingrain that in your brain right now. Like, this is about you. This is about your story. This is about sharing the ins and outs of you, because they want what you're giving, not what Beachbody's giving. Because literally anybody on the street, anybody anywhere, like, have you come across, I hope to God none of you are these people, and I don't think you are because you have Lauren as a coach, but have you ever come across those profiles on Instagram where literally in their bio it's like teambeachbody.com blah blah blah? Like, what? They're telling people instantly what you do, and they're not gonna sign up with you. Like, it needs to be, you need to have like the curiosity marketing, right? So I'm here today to talk to you about consistency, presenting everything with confidence, and like building relationships. But I'm going to talk to you guys about this in like a few different ways, because I don't think that there's a one size fits all in this business. I think it's a ton of trial and error and figuring out what works for you. Like, you're not the next Kate Morgan. You're the next, like, insert your name here. You don't have to be another Beachbody coach. That's not what you're going for. You want to be who you are to your core. So yes, you can like try and take bits and pieces from what other successful coaches are doing and emulate their behaviors. But if you're just like literally doing 1000% what one coach is like projecting and then telling you to do, then you're not going to be successful, because you are not them. You need to take time and figure out what it is that's going to work for you. Sorry, I'm Italian. I like talk with my hands. Like, I realize every now and then how like ridiculous it is, because I'm like, but anyways, so being consistent in your inviting. Guys, like I said, you don't have to be the next Kate Morgan, so I'm not telling you to send out like 100 invites a day. That might not be doable for you. It might not be plausible. But figure out the amount that works for you, and that you know, like, okay, this is what I can do. And for me, it varies, okay? So some days I will bang out like 85 to 100 messages, some days. And then the next day I'll maybe send out 20. And then the next day I'll maybe send out 30. And then the next day I'll maybe send out like 15. So I gauge it on like my days per week, and like kind of like overall, maybe by the end of the week, I'm going for like, 300 messages for the entire 7 days, or it depends. It depends on the type of conversations I'm having, the type of like, if the conversations are going really great and I have a ton of people that are interested, or if I'm doing like a ton of follow-ups that week for people that were like, yeah, I'm totally interested, but like get back to me in like 2 weeks when I get paid. You should always have a tracking system. It took me so long. Like, I probably started a legit tracking system like a month ago. I'm not even kidding, which like, you're screwing yourself if you're not. And I can say that with full confidence now, because I'm not organized. I'm not one of those people that's like, which I'm speaking to a bunch of teachers and principals. So you're probably like, you probably are all organized. And I'm like this Tasmanian devil of entrepreneurship. Like, I'm always all over the place. I'm like, all right, so I'm doing this, and then I'm going to do this tomorrow. But I found what works for me. So I do tracking. I'm not doing Google Streak like 95% of Beachbody coaches right now, because I found one that works for my tiny little brain. Google Streak, when I've like tried to watch tutorials and do things with it, like it just, there's something that like always I'm like, I can't do it. So I'm using a tracking system called My Connection Builder. And it's really helping me with making sure that I'm staying on top of the people that really do want to sign up, because you don't want to let those people fall through the cracks. If you're like, cool, I'll touch base with you in 2 weeks, and then you don't write it down, or you don't have a way to track it, you're going to forget. So my consistency with inviting is no matter what, at least 6 days a week, I'm always inviting. So I will try to do as many as I can until I'm sick of it. And like I said, if I get out like 60 to 70 invites one day, I'm like, great, that's awesome. Then the next day I'll do way less, like 20. Like, I want to say 20 is generally my minimum. I don't really go lower than that unless it's like Sundays I don't do invites. Like I don't really believe in it on Sundays. I just feel like I need to have like one day to not like be balls to the wall with the business. Honestly, you should have a moment. You should have a day to unplug. And I'm not saying don't post on that day. Like I've had ingrained in my brain, and I ingrain it in my coaches' brains, you need to be posting every single day no matter what, because this is your business. And if you're not posting, then your business is closed. You're not showing up. So if you feel like, oh, I don't want to post because like it's Sunday and it's my rest day and I want to be unplugged, friggin' plan the post ahead of time, guys. There's like 92 apps out there that you can plan your post and have your post for you, instead of like you like have your phone work for you. Don't work for your phone, like it's like so many apps out there right now that can help you with outsourcing the stuff that you need to do, really. So I invite at least 20 plus invites a day. Like I said, it completely varies, and it depends on the type of conversations I'm having and if I feel like they're going like really great or they're like doing okay. Utilizing your power hour is so vital, especially if you're not just coaching full time. You need to be able, I'll talk about this in two ways, because like there's your power hour where you literally have like an hour plus or an hour to 2 hours to sit down and dedicate your time and your energy into this process. But if you don't have that and you're working full time, like I said, when I started this, I was doing 92 different things. So I didn't have a power hour, I had power pockets. And actually my girl Faith is on this call, and she shared it for one of my other calls, and I'm sure she would be more than happy to share it with you. She has like a little PDF on power pockets. So if you don't have time to do a full power hour and you need like just kind of a quick little layout of what to do in like 15 minutes here and there, she has that. Then I have a whole power hour like tracking system for my team, which is the way that like I kind of generally do my power hours. And actually I should pull it up, because I was just gonna like try and remember, and I know I won't, because squirrel brain. But I will find it. I'll pull it up. I'll share my screen real quick, and again I can share that with Lauren so you guys can see it, just if you're curious or if you want to like try and emulate something similar for your own power hours. And I have at the top of my power hour thing, it's not about having time, it's about making time, because again, oh my God, I just clicked on like 5 different other things. Hold on. Again, it is not about having time, guys. You always have to make the time. You're always going to have something that goes on in life. And if you're going to pick something to be more important than this, it will be. So here's my, well, great. There you go. Here's my team's little power hour. Like I have, this is like actually like I guess a tracker for the whole day, but like the power hour is like right about in the middle, right? So I have like, this is what I do daily. I wake up, so I have like rise and grind time, like right when you wake up. I take 5 minutes of me time before I even look at or touch my phone. This is the thing that I learned from Mel Robbins. 5-second rule. So I take 5 minutes of me time, then I write an I am list. Like I am an elite coach. I am a leader of leaders. I am debt free. I am a homeowner. I am 10-star diamond. I am whatever it is that like you're going for, guys. Like if you're setting your day out with like I am, even if you aren't already, that's going to do wonders for your life. Then after I write my I ams, I write like a little gratitude list, like what I'm grateful for, like the things that I do have. And I'm always doing this. Like I have a little meditation corner behind me, which I'd show you, but it's like a shit show right now. And so like I always sit in like, I have this little beanbag chair that has my, my sage and like crystals and my meditation card, like my deck of cards that I go, like it's just the thing that I do every morning. But I have my vision board right in front of me too. So when I'm writing my I am and my gratitude list, I'm looking at my vision board and all of these things that I want for my future. And I also have like, pictures of my loved ones like right in front of it too. Then I So I am my gratitude list. Then I meditate. I always do a guided meditation with my challenge group. Like anybody that wants to be involved in my challenge group, I leave it open to them. I do it at 5:45 EST almost every single morning. Unless I'm like traveling, then they know like I'll send them something to do instead. Then I have my pre-workout. I work out, drink my shake, read my personal development. Then I go on to like, my power hour isn't always right after I drop my child off at school, but most of the time that's when I get like a big chunk of it done. And I have like the luxury of like working from home now, so it's not always a power hour. Sometimes it's like 2 or 3, you know, like, and I break it up within the day. So I have this based on like what I expect of my girls. Like I expect like 10 invites to the coaching opportunity a day. And guys, out of those 10 invites, you could even get like 9 of them that don't respond. Okay. Like it's kind of give and take on the day and who you're reaching out to. 25 natural conversations that like turn into an invite. So like you're actually like getting to know them and having this full conversation. 25 comments to, and it doesn't have to be an invite like on the first time that you have a conversation with them. But you're at least starting that conversation. 25 comments to engage. So it could be like 15 on people that you already are following. And then it should always be at least 10 through like hashtags of your interest. Like you're going through hashtags, you're finding people that like your vibe attracts your tribe. Like these people are your tribe. You want these people on your team. You're like actually reaching out to them to be like, wow, this person's so similar to me. Like I would love it if she was doing this with me, you know? Because like, let's be real, you don't want everyone, right? You want people that you're going to click with, that you're going to want to coach. And 50 new follows. And that could be split up between Instagram and Facebook. Honestly, like I mostly work Instagram right now. It's just my thing. It's been like where I'm finding most of my business. I feel like I have very few people that are technically still warm market that are like, you know, friends and family, because I've been doing this for quite a while now. So now it's gotten to the point where like a lot of the people that I do end up signing up that are like interested in coaching or do want to build a relationship with me, I don't know them. They're from Instagram, they're through hashtags, or they're through like new follows or whatever, or they heard of me through somebody else. And then I do have like check-ins, because I do, Bod Squad is like my online wellness community. So I check in on there. We check in through the challenge tracker, check in with my challengers and coaches. I don't check in with my challengers every day. That's on the checklist, but I make it a point to at least once a week reach out to them. And if you guys don't know this, you can send a voice message on Facebook to yourself. Like you can literally send a voice message like, hey girl, how's it going? Just like hope you're doing well with your workouts. Do you need me for anything? Do you like need help with, are you struggling anywhere? What's your favorite part of this? What are you struggling with? How can I help? And then when you send that to yourself, you can take that and forward it to like 20 people. Yeah. So you can forward it to 20 people, and then that like completely, like you do not have to worry about like, they won't see that you sent it to other people. They'll think they're getting a personal voice message from you, like praising the shit out of them or trying to see if you need their help. They need your help. Sorry. I check in with my coaches, like, again, usually once a week. Like I have a thing where I feel like if my coaches aren't reaching out to me, it's because they don't need my help. And I do expect, like, I expect them, if I'm going to have a call with them, to be showing up on social media every single day. And I expect them to like be the ones to like come to me. There's occasional times where I'll like say like, how are you doing and whatever. But if I don't hear from them, then I assume that they're doing amazing, right? Like if you hear nothing, that's like generally a good thing. So then I check in with my team page. I have my team calls once a week. I go live in my team page when I have updates to share. So just like staying on top of those things as well. What else? Sorry, let me read the chat real quick because I'm like squirrel brain and I don't. Okay, cool. So in general as well, like when you're presenting this opportunity with people, you should always have confidence, right? Like, you should always be speaking with confidence. If you're like coming across to somebody as like, all right, well, it's kind of cool, like it could be okay, like, you know, do you like want to try it with me? Then it's going to be like, do you think they're going to want to do it? No, they're going to be like, okay, well, she's not really sure, so I'm not sure. If you're like, yes, this is kick-ass, this has changed my life, I love every second of it, like, here's what it's doing for me, and you kind of break it down, then they're going to be like, yes, this is what I need, right? Like, your energy and the way that you come across and the way that you talk to these people is the way that they're going to, like, take it, and the way that they're going to, like, turn it around and either take it and run with it or do nothing with it. So personally, for my invitations, when I'm talking to somebody, I have 2 ways that I go about it. And like I said, I don't think that this business is one size fits all. So like I'll talk about the 2 ways, and you may be like, you just contradicted the heck out of yourself. And I definitely am. I'm not gonna lie, like I am. But again, it takes trial and error and seeing what works for you. And some months it's gonna work, like some months it's gonna be amazing because it'll be like, yes, I had to have like a full conversation with this person and ask them 92 different questions to get them to like actually be interested in what I'm doing. And sometimes it's going to be like almost a direct invite where they're instantly intrigued and they want to know more, right? Like where you're just like, yeah, I'm just curious. So I've done both. And I think that there's like, you can either form the relationship and take the time and put the effort in to actually like building that relationship, or you can do the direct invite. And I'll tell you how they differ, because for me, I would never directly invite somebody that is not engaging on my page in some way, shape, or form. I would never instantly be like, hey, is this like something that you're interested in? Unless, again, they're watching my story, they've liked or commented on a photo. And that's kind of the way I go about my power hours too. Like, I generally go through all of my story views first. And if somebody's watching me, then they're fair game. You're in my business. You're watching me work out every single day. I'm gonna invite you. And I always leave the initial message open-ended with saying like, are you like, see you watching me, like, thanks so much for the support, blah, 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 blah. Are you interested in what I do fitness or business-wise? That's like, I always have both, because you don't know. You don't know if they are like, yeah, I just want to get in shape. I need to lose 20 pounds. Or, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I want to learn about both. Or I just, like, when some people are like, oh yeah, totally the business aspect. I'm like, well, they totally go hand in hand. So you can't like just give them the business aspect. But once you explain it, obviously they get to know more about it, right? So I always have, I have a video of me explaining the boot camp, like me explaining what it all entails, so that every time that I talk to somebody and they want to know more about the boot camp, it's not word vomit and like sending a ton of information in words. Like we live in a world where like video is like one of the ways that everybody is like absorbing information now. So if you send them a video and you're like, do your makeup and like be in front of a light and like act excited and be telling them about what this has done for your life, and especially in the physical way, right? Because obviously, like when it comes to the boot camp, that's what they're looking for. So I think mine ended up being 13 minutes. I always try and keep it around 10 minutes. Like I don't like to go over, but that's worked like really well, because anytime somebody wants to know more about the boot camp, I send the video. Same thing with the business. If they want to know more about the business, I have a business one, but I also always have a sneak peek going. So I generally try to do a sneak peek every month. I have tried to do it in different ways where sometimes I'll do a sneak peek that's like 1 hour long. Sometimes I'll do a sneak peek that's like a few days long, but it's like 10 minutes here and there. I have done like a coach internship that I got 2 of my newest coaches from. Which is basically like you invite them all to this opportunity, and whoever takes it and runs with it, you can like tell they actually want to coach. So I had 2 girls. It was a decently tough month. I think it was like the end of October, beginning of November that I ended up like running it. So I think like if I kind of like fine tune it, doing it another month, I could have a lot more success. But like 2 brand new coaches from like, doing that was pretty cool, because I had them not it wasn't based like a sneak peek is. I gave them information, but then I had them like act on the information. So I had them do things that we do as coaches so that they kind of knew a little bit more what they were getting themselves into once they finally do start coaching. So yeah, I like think that when it comes to like inviting, video and voice messages are huge because you can again show your energy and how excited you are about it. Because if you're just like sending like texts back and forth, they don't get to know you at all, right? Like at all.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm going to ask you a question real fast, but I love that idea so much. Do you, for your video, is it like on YouTube, or do you like save it in your camera roll and then send that into the message?
So to be honest, I've done it two ways. For my boot camp, and like the full coaching up video, I have them on YouTube. But if it's like a person that I've talked to and like I'm like, okay, like I really feel like I need to just like talk one-on-one with them,
right,
then I'll send like the 15-second video clips on Instagram. And there was one point where I was inviting a ton of people and they wanted to know more, and it was like when I was doing this like I called it Project Empower You. It was like women empowering women project. So I had like a series of like 6 little Instagram video clips that like each person that was interested in that specific thing, I sent them all like a very similar video of me talking about like what it entailed. So yeah, it's been like a few different ways. I'm always trying to like mess around and like figure out what exactly is like people are taking the best, because it's always different. It differs by the people, it differs by the month, it differs by like like the time of year, like how people are feeling, honestly. So
right, I love that.
Yeah, so it's always like I said, like my general conversations will be the ones where like I am more of a direct invite are from my people watching my story, liking or commenting on my post. Right. Anyone else, guys, it takes like laying groundwork, right? It's not just like an instant thing and you don't want it to be. This business is about building relationships. And when I've like talked about this before, I've literally gotten out of my chair. Like, I don't know if I'm like feeling that tonight, but think about it this way. Okay. And I'm sure that you've heard similar in like different types of, I don't know what the word, presentations. So if you're having a conversation with somebody and it's somebody that you don't know and that's never engaged on your post and doesn't know who you are, and you are just like, hey, oh my God, like, do you want to join my challenge group and you want to work out with me? And or like, maybe you're interested in the business, and you just like, you're just like in their face, right? That like, think of this, like if you walked into a park to feed like the birds, to feed the ducks, like there are like a shit ton of ducks at a pond, and you walk in there to feed them, right? Like you like say you walk in, I see like several people on the call with kids. You walk in with your kids and your kids are like just like throwing bread everywhere. The ducks are gonna be like shit, like the ducks are just gonna be like, see ya. They're gonna want nothing to do with that, right? They're done. Think of that as like the way that you're having a conversation with somebody. If you go in there like guns a-blazing, like acting like this is it for you, they're going to be like, what? Like, who are you? No, thank you. That's not what you want. But if you go in there and you're like, you know what? I'm here to feed these birds, and you're just like, okay, a little bit. Give me a crumb here, a crumb there, a crumb there. And you just start, slowly walking away, and these birds will like slowly start coming up to eat the bread, right? So think about that as like your conversation. Like you're going to have a conversation with these people, and you're just say like, hey, like, how's it going? Like you're genuinely interested in getting to know them as a person, right? Like, how's it going? I'm Kelsey. How's it going? I'm Amanda. I'm Jennifer. Like, I'd love to get to know more about you. I'm just trying to connect with my followers and, see a little bit about where you're from. Then you get into like more of a conversation, like, what do you do for work? and they're like, oh, like if they start having this conversation with you and trusting you, like, this is what I do for work. I have 2 kids. Cool. Oh my gosh, you must be like a crazy busy mom. I know that like as a mom, we don't put ourselves first all the time, right? Like we're generally like give until we have nothing left. We're not like ready to feel like, oh, okay, I can take care of me. Then you just start getting into it a little bit more. Like, do you have like a health and fitness regimen you follow, or is there like, oh no, like I actually need to lose like 30 pounds and I'm struggling and I have postpartum depression, and it's like, yeah, I know, like it's not a cool thing to deal with, right? And then like you start like relating to them on a personal level. So like, let me ask you, like, if in the past, what did you do fitness wise that like you loved? Oh, like I don't know, like I've never really found a routine that's really stuck for me. I just kind of like, so then you're like really getting into it with them, and you're getting on this and they could even be like, I really struggle with my self-confidence right now. I don't feel sexy in front of my husband. I don't want to wear lingerie. I don't even want him to look at me. I don't want him to touch me. Girl, I hear you. Like I've been through that, and it sucks to not feel comfortable in your own skin. That's the worst. So like, do you prefer weights or cardio? Like, what is it, like, what have you done in the past, like in general, that you've like had some sort of like success with? Oh, I don't really know where to begin. Girl, I can help you, like then you like actually get like you're building the foundation. And I'm not saying this conversation is going to happen in like 2 seconds and they're instantly going to be like, yes, I'm ready to sign up with you. But again, we're in this business to change lives. So yes, there are going to be the quick connections that are going to happen really fast. And like I said, like I generally do that with people that are in my business. Like they have either been in my story watching me every single day, or they like or comment on my photo. But if they don't answer me, like after I've had like a quick connection, then like I'll go back to this type of conversation, right? Like where you're asking more questions and you're getting like, and if they don't answer me the first time, I always send a, hey, like not sure if you maybe you didn't see my last message. I know life gets crazy sometimes, like with this emoji, ... That always prompts them to respond. Because then if like they don't, it's like you're a creep at this point. You've been like watching my story every single day. You still haven't responded to it. Like, what is your deal?
No, I like that. I like that a lot because one, that's going to keep them watching too. Even if they don't, even if they don't respond, or it's going to keep them watching and it's going to get them thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll come back.
Oh, absolutely. Cause like you've planted that seed. They're like, wait, like this girl knows that I'm watching. Like, so she is in control of her social media. It's not just some random person. Like she is like, she knows I'm watching her every single day. And when you kind of like say that and you're like I always put the like eyes after I say, I see you watching me, like they're just like, oh shit, like this girl is like, now I feel like a creep. And I've had it come across as both, like there's there's several types of people. So like, it comes across differently for some people. They might think you're being mean. For some people, they're like, oh my gosh, you caught me, I'm creeping. So you kind of like feel it out in the way that you move forward with the conversation. But I hope you guys like got something from that, because again, there's several ways to present these opportunities, and the quick way could work for you, but it might not. So trial and error is so much of this business. So much, like it's really a huge piece of it, and you need to constantly be working every single day and changing up your conversations and your scripts. And like, I know that probably like those days where it's like a lot more messages, you're probably like, but like how? That's a crazy amount of messages. How do you get that many out within like an hour or two? It's procuring scripts, right? So it's like you're saying almost the same thing to several different people. But you can't do the same script like every single day or week after week. It needs to be like, you need to be like tailoring that and seeing what, like, because you could come up with a bomb ass script that works awesome 80% of the time, but then you could try it the week after and you get like 0 traction with it. So that's like where you need to like fine tune it and figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work for you. Right. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything, totally let me know. Like I said, it's going to be completely different for everyone. So.
No, I love that. I love that. Does anyone have any questions for Kelsey? I have a couple. But I'll see. Hold on. Does anyone? Quiet. Crickets. Okay. So my first question, well, I asked you the YouTube one. So for the conversations, like when you're dropping those breadcrumbs, you said those are the people that are, do you ever engage with people? Let me rephrase that. How do you have your new follows, like 50 new follows a day. Do you ever do anything to start engagement with those new follows, especially if you feel like they would be awesome coaches?
So any new follows I get, I do have a script that I send out.
Okay.
And it generally always generates conversation. Some people do ignore it, which I'm like, why? Because I don't, but for the most part, I do get a lot of traction and a lot of answers with it. So my thanks for the follow type message is so stoked for the follow, excited to connect. Hopefully you'll enjoy my posts. I'm a tattooed mama, fiance, health coach, and photographer from Connecticut. Just over 2 years ago, I made a decision that forever changed my life. I live to share the opportunity with others and wholeheartedly believe in constantly working to become the best humans we can be. Amazing to create friendships around the world. # better together. I'd love to learn a little more about you, ?
Ooh, I love that.
So mine, like, new follow is never an instant invite.
Right.
It's always, I want to know more about you. So that's the way that I kind of start things off. And then, like, we'll get into more of a conversation. And these are the people that I'm having, like, full conversations with and getting to know them and trying to figure out, like, their ins and outs and, like, how I could help them.
Right.
So it is a good idea, guys, to, like, come up with a script that you're going to send to most of your new followers. And you might tailor it, you might change it. But that's the one that I use, and that's the one that's been working for quite a while, so I haven't changed it in quite a while.
Well, it's not invasive. You're just introducing yourself and basically saying, like, this is me. I want to get to know you. No, I love that. Because at this point, I really haven't done anything to, like, engage. I just kind of wait until there's, like, I feel like a common interest or anything. So I love that.
But if you do that, even if they don't answer, I have noticed for some of the people that don't answer, they start watching my story to, like, kind of, like, figure out, like, who I am and, like, what the hell I'm actually doing.
Right.
So it does get more eyes on you, you know?
I love that. I love that. Did anyone else have anything for her?
I wondered what you've done to get so many followers on Instagram.
Honestly, it's taking a ton of engagement and having conversations. And for a while, I didn't, like I said, I'm a photographer, but I didn't have, like, a really specific, like, if you see my page, you see how, like, organized it is. You see that it's all, like, the same tone. I have I use Lightroom. I have a specific Lightroom preset that I use for every single photo. I spend a ton of time engaging on Instagram a day, and if you don't have the time to do it, then you need to outsource and find a company that can. I have used Captivate and Cleaner, and I was starting to use Stim Social, which a few people have used. I'm not, like, too into Stim Social yet. I might, like, give it another try, but I kind of tried it and was like, I don't really like it. So Captivate and Cleaner were huge for me to, like, begin to do my following. When I started, like, coaching, I probably had over 1,000 followers just because of, like, life and, like, being, like, I used to be, like, my posts used to be way different, guys. If you scroll back to, like, before, I was, like, photographer, always, like, risque photos, always, like, whatever. So, like, I've completely, like, flipped and changed my vibe. But if you scroll back to, like, 3 years ago, it was, like, way different.
Here, because that shows that we can,
Yeah.
we can't don't be held up if we started at one point, you know, we can easily change.
Oh, for sure. And I've had so many coaches that are like, oh, should I make like a whole new account for, and I'm like, no, dude, like just you evolve as a human. It's okay to show people how you grow. You're not like always going to be the same type of person. So it's taken me like a lot of time to like fine tune the way that I do things. And I do like, I'm always trying to figure out like what types of posts get more engagement. Transformations are always huge. Like I've had like, you know, some posts where I do and I get like, you know, 240 likes, 300 likes. Every time I do a transformation, it's generally like 700 likes or more, at least. Because like people are just like, we love change, you know, like they just like want to see you like evolving and growing as a human. You always want to like offer content that's going to help other people. You're offering some sort of value. Like the only time that I like don't put a lot of like crazy thought into my posts is generally Saturdays and Sundays, because I have noticed that on weekends I just don't get as much engagement. So I'm not going to like put a ton of effort into making a post that not that many people are going to see.
Right. Do you have a certain day a week that your transformation does best?
Tuesday, usually.
Tuesday.
So it's almost always transformation Tuesdays. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will, like when I do a transformation, I usually post in my story with transformations from my team too. So like I'll like do like several transformations in my story, and then at the end be like, are you going to be my next success story?
Right.
In a poll. And guys, like when it comes to growing your social media, you have to like watch YouTube videos on it, really, because I could sit here and like give you like a whole class on Instagram and like what you need to do to like to grow your following and to like help you and to find, but it all comes down to like, are your like your content and your photos. Instagram's more like I think you've heard this. If you haven't, I'm going to say it to you right now. Instagram is more photos, and yes, like the post counts, like what you're saying counts, but on Facebook, it's more about like what you're saying than the photo. Instagram, everybody's super visual, so it needs to be a scroll stopping photo. Like if you are about to post a photo and you wouldn't stop at that, then don't post it, right? Like you need to go to your page and audit yourself and say like, okay, like what do I like about me? Would I sign up with me? Like where can I improve? And if you feel like you can't do that, then ask your success partner, ask your coach, ask a friend, and they'll be like, tell them, be brutally honest with me. What can I do better at? Like, where do I need to improve? Where can I change this? Right. And like I said, YouTube's going to be key. You can use Captivate and Cleaner. You can use Stim Social. I'm sure there's a ton of other companies out there that would help you grow your social media, but it all comes down to like you and what you want and where you're going with your business. If you have money to spend on, you know, trying to find somebody to help you grow it, or if you're going to like do the research and take the time, because it's either going to take time or it's going to take money, and there's no avoiding either of those. Right. It just depends on like, you know, where you're looking to take it, really.
Love it. All right. Well, Miss Kelsey, we won't keep you much anymore. Thank you so much for time on Sunday. This was awesome. You gave us so many tidbits, and just I loved everything that you shared, from your story to, you know, all the hustle that you have put in to make this successful business and grow it. So
well, thank you so much. You guys have a great night, and if anybody has any questions, totally feel free to message me.
Absolutely. And then Faith, if you don't care, we have a lot. Well, I think we have a lot of part-timers. So anything to share that Power Pockets, I'm sure my team would appreciate that so much. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye.